Hello, it's Giselle here and the journey of becoming one. Day 34. Success is deciding. Now, I decided the other day to do this video and I had some problems. and I kept trying and then I just basically had to call it a day. So, I'm continuing on with it. Might not be the same, but I decided to do it and I'm going to follow it through because I think it's a really, really important thing. Success is deciding because so many things happen just from us deciding. And when we don't decide, we basically say to life, you decide for me. And do we really want that? If life decides for us and if it's the best thing for us, if it's not something that we decided, we might be upset about it. If it's something that we did decide and then life brings it to us, it's like a magical gift. And we're able to say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I decided I wanted that. And we're able to feel the blessings because we made a decision at some point. I'm going to give you an example. When we were getting ready to move here to the UK, we were living in LA, and I was looking at stuff that we would get for our home when we moved over here. One of the things is that on Argos, I had found these square plates and bowls and cups that I wanted. And somebody said to me, "What? You can't have those. Those aren't plates. Plates are round." And of course, I was very much in victim mindset then. So I was like, oh, and I let somebody else's really certain strong opinion influence me. And I let it depress me and make me feel bad. And I gave up on what I wanted. And I conformed to somebody else's idea, even though it wasn't even their life, it was my life. I let somebody else make the decision for me. And so we moved over here, stuff happened. We lived in a house that we managed to get, and the toilet was at the downstairs at the very back of the house, all the way at the end, behind the kitchen, behind everything. And it was what once used to be an outhouse, I was told. And so it was very, very cold, even though it was still enclosed. It was not heated back there, and there was a vent where air was flowing through, and it was freezing. So I tried to block off the vent, and it was horrible. And upstairs, we had the bathtub and the sink, but no toilet. So no matter what, anytime that we needed the toilet, we had to go downstairs and to the back of the house, and that was horrid. I made a decision because also I'm from the US and we tend to have showers and baths and toilets and all sorts of luxuries, which were standard to me. And I decided I wanted a shower and a bath. And I wanted an upstairs toilet and a downstairs toilet. And I wanted to have a warmer house. So we went on with our lives and we ended up moving. And then there came a time when I had to go a different way. And it was really difficult. There's a big story with this as well. And it was really difficult, and we hardly had anything, but it was still difficult because I didn't want to break up the family and I didn't want to break up what we did have. But I had to make that decision. Even though it was really, really difficult, I had to make that decision because it was what was right for me. So along in there, I realized that if it was right for me to leave, then what I was doing by not leaving was that I was blocking him from being in the life that he was to be in, you know, a better life for him. If there was a better life for me and I didn't go and take it, then I was clogging up where I already was, and I was blocking my partner whom I was trying not to hurt. I was actually hurting him more by staying. So I had to make that realization, and also about the children, that that with regards to the children, that I didn't want to break up the family and I didn't want to hurt them, but actually it was causing them more pain by me staying, and that it would hurt everybody more if I didn't go and do what was right for me. So I learned and realized that. Luckily, I had a lot of spiritual assistance. Even though I didn't completely understand what was going on, I was having a spiritual awakening, and I'm really grateful for that. So when I left and I started to build my life, I was provided with a house eventually after living in a homeless shelter, because I had no family, no, not really very close friends. I had friends, but not friends that I felt like I could go and stay with. And I had no job and had no money. So I was living in a homeless shelter. And when I got offered the house, I came to view it. And it had an upstairs toilet and a downstairs toilet. And it also had a shower and a bath. Hopefully I already mentioned that I wanted a shower and a bath. And I was like, oh my gosh, wow, I always wanted that. And it felt a little bit special. And then I had a friend contact me and tell me that somebody had given her some plates and I could come and get them. So I went over to get them, and guess what? They were the square plates and cups and bowls, exactly like I wanted before I moved here. And I cried because that was a big deal to me. And all of these things that I had wanted, that I was told that I couldn't have by the person that I was with, because that was their belief at that time. And I believed them because I believed what people would tell me then. And I didn't challenge it very much, so, or if at all. And well, if it was no and you can't, then I believed it. And I learned that's not healthy. So by taking steps to make myself happy, the things that I had decided that I wanted came into my life, because I made that space by making myself happy, by setting myself free. I made myself available for things that were meant for me. And I'm really grateful that I did that. It's not always easy. The reason it's not always easy is because we're afraid of failure. Sometimes we're even afraid of success. We're afraid of upsetting people. We're afraid of hurting people. But the fact of the matter is that sometimes we need to lose. Sometimes we need to suffer. Sometimes we need to experience pain in order to realize that we need to choose to live our lives in a different way. In order for us to grow, sometimes we need to fail. And probably most often we need to fail. So when we try to protect ourselves, or we try to protect others from pain, we actually can end up causing them more pain, because we don't allow them the space that they need to grow and the challenges that they need to grow. So, success is deciding, making a choice, and then figuring out how to align our heart and our head to what's right for us. And that's how we really ought to make our choices anyways. What's right for our heart with the agreement and the synchronization of our head. And that's pure magic and pure gold when we do that. So what happens if we don't do that? We tend to cause problems when we don't do that. And we might end up stuck, unhappy, still the same in a year or 20 years from now, having wasted our time and wasted our life away, being unhappy because we're trying to please somebody else, or we're trying to not make waves. And also another thing is creative energy that energy that's supposed to be used for us to create something wonderful, to create something fantastic, to create something innovative, to create something magnificent, that energy, when not used properly, like say to have a wonderful relationship, or to have a wonderful career, or to create some beautiful piece of art, when we don't do that, when we don't act and move on that inspiration, that energy has to go somewhere. So it usually goes into illnesses. For me, it was arthritis, inflammatory arthritis of the joints, rheumatoid arthritis. For some people, it's diabetes. For other people, it can be cancer. For others, it's heart problems. So it's about taking care of ourselves. What if we do it? What if we do make a choice and we do make a decision? Then we will usually win. And if not, then we'll grow into somebody that will win. If we do it, then we will find blessings. If we do what's right for us, we will always win. Always. And it's not a win against somebody else so that they lose. It's a win-win. Because when we win by following our heart and by making a decision, everybody wins. Except for those people who choose to look at it negatively. That's their choice. So that's the way we are as humans. So when do we want to do this? We want to do it now. Do we want to wait until another 40 years has gone by? Or do we want to make a decision now? Make a decision now to honor ourselves, to nurture and to care for that child inside. For me, little Giselle. Do we want to do it now? Or do we want to wait and waste more time? Success is deciding. Are you happy? Do you want to be happy? What would happy look like for you? What would success look like for you? And decide to give that to yourself. I love you. Hope I got everything across that I wanted to. Have a wonderful day. Bless you.